Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Today, my dear friends, we are celebrating Thursday of the 26th week in the ordinary time. And we also celebrate today the memorial of Saint Therese of Lisieux, or Saint Therese of the Child Jesus. And we know Therese because of her little way. No? Ito yung medyo kakaiba sa kanya. When the church proclaims a saint as a doctor of the church, sometimes or most often than not, they attribute that being a doctor to that saint because of the doctrines that that saint has contributed to the church. Yung mga patristic writings, mga doctrinal expositions, yan. And so they serve mga spiritual writers like Therese of Avila. No? Pag nagsulat sila ay talagang dumaragdag sa katotohanan ng doktrina ng simbahan. And sometimes these writings are not easy to understand. No? Sometimes they appear to be highfalutin, abstract at times. But today we celebrate a virgin and a doctor. And we attribute her being a doctor in her little way. Through her little way. Saint Therese is known for that kind of spirituality, that little way. Nung nagsisimula ako sa aking paglalakbay bilang isang seminarista, isa yan sa mga itinuturo sa seminaryo. Hindi ka naging tunay na seminarista kung hindi ka dumaan kay Therese. No? No? Kapag hindi mo nabasa ang kanyang biography, no? The Story of a Soul, kapag hindi mo nabasa ang kanyang diary, ang kanyang mga sinulat, at kapag binabasa mo ito, napakadaling unawain. No? At nung nagsisimula ako sa aking paghuhubog bilang seminarista, sabi ko, kaya pala it's called the little way. It is simple. It is little. No? But she is considered as a doctor of the church because of this. But when I moved forward in my formation, and I tried to research more and study more of Saint Therese, there is what she calls the science of love. And that is the background of that little way. No? Yung science of love ni Therese. Ano yung science of love ni Therese? Para kay Therese, no? Kahit yung pagpulot mo ng pin, aspile, ay makapagliligtas ng kaluluwa. Kapag ito'y puno ng pag-ibig. Kapag ito'y puno ng pag-ibig. The science of love of Therese tells us that when a person allows himself to be filled with the love of Christ, then real humility comes out. And you belong to the little ones of God. And when you belong to these little ones of God, you do things with love. And when you do things with love, then you become like a disciple of the Lord. Ang gandang nagtutugma, no, yung readings ng Thursday of the 26th week in ordinary time at yung tema ng buhay ni Saint Therese. No? Yung pagbasa natin, unang pagbasa, the first reading, no, we hear of Job. Job, no, representing all miseries of human life. Ang daming pagsubok at paghihirap na dinaanan ni Job. At sa simula nung kanyang sinasabi, sabi niya, pity me, O you my friends, for the hand of God has struck me. This literary form, filled with emotion, angst, suffering, and yet towards the end, he recognizes that his vindicator lives. No? I know that my vindicator lives, and that he will at last stand forth upon the dust, whom I myself shall see. Job was in the midst of tribulation. Job was not lying about his experiences. He was honest about what he felt during that time. Sounded like almost complaining, yet he knows his vindicator lives, filled with hope. Filled with hope. This, I think, is the first fruit of that science of love that Therese is talking about. When a person is filled with love, he knows that God requires nothing from him but surrender and dependence. You belong to the little ones of God when you know what surrender is, when you know what dependence is. Siguro dahil din sa takbo ng buhay ng tao at sa itinuturo sa atin ng mundo na lumaban ka, there is also a danger to that. But sometimes we depend so much on ourselves. I know my abilities, I know my capacities, I know what I can do. Kaya ko to. Well, in one way, that's good. You recognize the gifts that you have. But to recognize these gifts as yours, separate from God, then there begins the problem. There begins the problem. The surrender that Therese is talking about is not, being helpless and hopeless. Like Job. Alam ni the prophet Job na meron siyang dinadanas na mahirap. Kinikilala niya yung nasasaktan siya. Kinikilala niya yung nahihirapan siya at nagdurusa siya. But he knows that God knows better. He believes, and therefore he is filled with hope. Tama si Therese. God does not require anything from us other than surrender and dependence. Because surrendering to God means recognizing that He is in control. Dependence on Him means humility on our end. Sino ang mayabang? Sino ang mapagmataas? Yan yung pangalawang punto. The gospel for today, is about Jesus sending out the 72. Aside from the 12, He appointed 72 other disciples and sent them out by twos, in pairs. Teaching them, dun pa lang sa pagsusugo sa kanila, in pairs. Jesus was trying to teach them, you cannot do this on your own. Even though you are talented, even though you have the confidence, you can't do this on your own. I'm sending you in pairs. And if you notice how Luke presented to us the sending into mission of the 72, yung format ng pagkakasabi ng Panginoon ay parang summary ng buhay ng isang alagad. Sinusugo ka, ipinaliliwanag sa iyo yung mission mo. The harvest is great, but the laborers are few. Tapos ipinaliliwanag sa kanila yung kanilang karanasan. I'm sending you like lambs among wolves. That your task is not easy. You might feel too confident of yourself. Jesus could have been saying, but I'm sending you like lambs among wolves. Carry peace and humility within you. Then carry nothing with you, Jesus said. Recognize your dependence on God, on the one who sent you, on the one who gave you the mission. And then here comes the interesting part. Whatever house you enter, say, peace be with them. If, sabi ng Panginoon, a peaceful person lives there, your peace will rest on them. But if not, it will return to you. Pero kung mapagmahal at mapayapa ang taong nakatira doon at bukas ang puso, mapapasa kanila ang kapayapaan. Kainin ninyo kung anong ibigay sa inyo, inumin ninyo kung anong ipinapainom sa inyo. Anong ibig sabihin? Live with them. Be one with them. Tapos nun, sabi ng Panginoon, but when you enter a town and they reject you, okay lang yun. Sabi ng Panginoon sa kanila, no? Go out. Iwan nyo. Ayaw eh. Iwan ninyo. Because remember that the kingdom of God is at hand. And God will be the one who will take care of them. What is Jesus telling His disciples? There are things that you can change, and there are things that you cannot. There are things that you can accept, but there are things that you won't understand. And when those things come, okay lang yan. Isa yan sa mga naririnig natin madalas ngayong mga panahon na ito. Everything will be okay. And I think that is correct. To tell people everything is going to be okay. Your family going through some challenges, relationships going through some rough roads, financial stability becoming unstable, the future seems to be unclear, everything is going to be okay. The science of love tells us that when you allow yourself to be filled with the love of Christ, it does not take away from you your worry, your hurt, your pain. No. It's still there. It's part of your being human. But you know that this is not the end. You know that something better will come. And you humble yourself because you know that you cannot do it on your own. Kaya ang taong puno ng pagmamahal, hindi ba, napakadaling magpakabuti. Ang taong puno ng pagmamahal, ang daling magpakumbaba. Pero ang taong kulang sa pagmamahal, mapagmataas, mayabang, matigas, bilib masyado sa sarili. Dahil ang pinaguhugutan niya ng lakas ng loob ay yung pag-aakyat ng kanyang sarili. Ako ang basehan ng magaling. At hindi siya makatrabaho ng walang palakpak. Mas gusto niyang gumawa ng may hahanga sa kanya. Bakit ganun ang pag-uugali? Dahil kulang sa pagmamahal. But when a person is filled with real and true love, just like Therese, in her little way, she can offer sacrifices for the salvation of many. Because she knows God requires nothing else but surrender and dependence. And so today we examine ourselves in everything we do. Is there love? Love that leads you towards hopefulness that everything will be okay. And love that leads you towards humility because you know that God is the source of all graces that you have. May we learn from Saint Therese para yung lahat ng gagawin natin ay punuin natin ng pagmamahal. Hindi na kailangan ng pagkilala. Maliit man yan, wala mang makakita. Dahil alam mong pwedeng gamitin ng Diyos ito upang magdulot ng kabutihan sa iyo at sa iba. Gagawin mo ito ng puno ng pagmamahal.